On a quiet afternoon, when the sunlight still gently reflected off the leaves of the trees, Maria, a 62-year-old woman known for her contagious smile, faced a reality that chilled her heart. She was diagnosed with diabetes. At that moment, when silence seemed to scream, Maria's fate unexpectedly intertwined with one of the simplest foods in her kitchen: rice. Imagine now Maria's kitchen, where the aromas of traditional dishes once danced in the air. But today, the conversation takes an unexpected turn. With a smile that hides her concerns, Maria reveals how her life was shaken when she discovered that her beloved rice, the protagonist of so many meals, could now be her adversary. The shock of such a revelation was just the beginning of this story. Before the diagnosis, Maria was a true maestro in the kitchen, known for her delicious white rice dishes that always took center stage at parties and family gatherings. On Sunday afternoons, her house smelled of spices and fresh herbs as she prepared paella, a dish she learned from her grandmother. Her children and grandchildren, scattered around the yard, were drawn inside by the promise of her perfectly cooked white rice, which she proudly served with a welcoming smile. However, after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, visits to the doctor became frequent, and each appointment was a reminder of the risks her beloved white rice posed to her health. The doctor explained how white rice, due to its high glycemic index, could cause rapid spikes in blood sugar levels, something especially dangerous for diabetics. Maria felt as if a fundamental part of her identity was being questioned. Each grain of white rice seemed to carry both the traditions of her family and the risks to her health. It was a period of introspection and conflict for Maria, who pondered deeply on how she could continue to honor her cultural heritage without compromising her health. Rice was so rooted in her life and that of her family that the idea of eliminating it from her diet seemed almost like a cultural sacrifice. She recalled the Sunday lunches, where everyone gathered at the table, sharing stories and laughter over steaming plates of white rice, each one stuffed with memories and meanings. Determined not to let her condition define or limit her, Maria began to seek alternatives that would allow her to keep her traditions alive. She explored recipes, replaced ingredients, and tested new cooking techniques, each step being a bridge between her precious past and her challenging present. The transition was not easy, but Maria was determined to show everyone, and herself, that it was possible to adapt without losing the essence of who she was. Not wanting to be discouraged, Maria began to look for culinary alternatives, determined to find a solution that balanced health and tradition. She spent hours on the internet and leafed through cookbooks at the local library, looking for inspiration. It was during one of these research sessions that Maria came across an article praising the health benefits of brown rice, highlighting its ability to help control blood sugar, a crucial point for diabetics like her. Like many, Maria struggled to keep her blood sugar levels stable, often giving in to the desire for just one more sweet. Despite seeming harmless, these small pleasures can quickly elevate glucose, affecting her health. For this reason, I developed the digital book, Live Free Without Cutting Sweets, available for immediate download. But beware, copies are limited. This guide teaches the step-by-step to enjoy your favorite sweets without harming your health. Click now on the first pinned comment and secure your copy before they run out. Intrigued yet skeptical, Maria bought her first package of brown rice. That night, as she measured the water and adjusted the stove flame, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Preparing brown rice was more time-consuming than white rice, requiring more water and patience. The kitchen filled with an earthy, nutty aroma, very different from the familiar and comforting smell of white rice. When she finally tasted her first spoonful, Maria was surprised by the firm texture and rich flavor of the brown rice. It wasn't just different, it was new and exciting. The resilience of the grains between her teeth and the markedly nutritious flavor provided a completely new experience. She quickly realized that brown rice didn't need to be a reluctant substitute for white rice, but rather an opportunity to reinvent her favorite dishes with an ingredient that brought its own charm and character. Maria began experimenting, incorporating brown rice into everything from creamy risottos to robust salads and exotic dishes inspired by recipes from around the world. Each new recipe was a discovery, a small triumph in the kitchen that became increasingly a studio for her creative expression. She was particularly proud of a brown rice risotto with wild mushrooms and fresh herbs that she served at a family gathering, where, to her delight, the dish was received with enthusiastic praise. Brown rice transformed from a mere healthy substitute into a central element in Maria's new culinary identity. She rediscovered her passion for cooking, exploring the limitless possibilities that this healthy grain offered, each dish a fusion of her heritage and her new life. This transition not only revitalized her cooking, but also strengthened her commitment to living healthier, proving to herself that changes, even the most challenging, can open doors to new horizons of flavor and health. As Maria incorporated brown rice into her daily meals, she began to notice significant changes in her health. Before, fluctuations in glucose levels were a constant in her life, often leaving her tired and discouraged. Now, her blood sugar measurements were more stable and predictable. Additionally, the energy she felt throughout the day was something she had not experienced in years. She was more agile, more alive, as if each grain of brown rice was replenishing her strength and renewing her spirit. Encouraged by these transformations, Maria decided to expand her culinary horizons. That's when she discovered wild rice, an exotic ingredient that she initially mistook for a type of conventional rice. However, after researching, she learned that wild rice is actually the seeds of an aquatic plant that grows in the shallows of the Great Lakes in North America. This information further ignited her curiosity and passion for cooking. Decided to experiment, Maria bought her first package of wild rice. The first time she cooked it, she was fascinated by the way the long, black grains popped open, revealing a creamy interior that contrasted with the crunchy outer shell. The earthy flavor and nutritional richness, combined with a high protein and fiber content, made each dish a revelation. Wild rice not only enriched the nutritional profile of her meals, but also brought a new dimension of flavor, perfectly complementing a variety of ingredients. From seafood to fresh seasonal vegetables, Maria felt like an explorer in her own kitchen, testing different combinations and savoring each new creation. One of her favorite dishes became a warm wild rice salad with toasted nuts, dried cranberries, and an orange vinaigrette dressing, which she proudly served at family dinners. Each new recipe was not just a meal. It was a celebration of her journey towards a healthier life. The improvements in Maria's health did not go unnoticed by her friends and family, who began asking for her recipes and advice on how to incorporate healthier grains into their diets. She became a sort of ambassador for brown and wild rice in her community, sharing not only her dishes, but also the stories of how these grains transformed her life. This culinary pursuit and the positive changes in her health reinforced Maria's love for life and good food, proving that, even when facing challenges like diabetes, it is possible to find new paths that lead to surprising well-being and genuine moments of joy. Wild rice became a favorite not only for its unique texture and flavor, but also for its health benefits. Maria shared how this grain helped her maintain her appetite in check and contributed to her cardiovascular health, which is a major concern for those living with diabetes. As we close Maria's story, we see not just a struggle and adaptation, but also a celebration of renewed life and health. Through her experience with brown and wild rice, Maria showed us how it is possible to transform a frightening diagnosis into an opportunity to improve not only our diet but also our overall well-being. She adapted her culinary traditions, found new flavors, and, most importantly, maintained her joy in the kitchen. Now, we want to hear from you. Leave your own rice story in the comments below. Perhaps it's a favorite recipe that has been passed down through generations, or a change you made for health reasons like Maria. How does rice affect your life? Your stories are important to us and can inspire others to make positive changes in their lives. And don't forget to get your digital book, Live Free Without Cutting Sweets. It's very important that you get it now before the units run out. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing your stories in the comments.